Hey all, Jason Levon, priest at St. Luke's Episcopal Church in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Welcome to another Pause and Pray. It's a very hot and humid day here in Milwaukee, June 21st to upper 90s. It's the first day of summer, and for the last week since school's been out, it's been wonderful to hear the noise of kids on summer break throughout the neighborhood. A symphony of joy and rest and renewal added to the daytime hours that's not normally there when they're off to school. And it's been wonderful to hear, as I said, whether that's pools that are full or sprinklers that are going off, and the giggling and the laughing and the play, or kids on scooters and bikes, or hearing the ice cream truck drive through and seeing people flock out to get their sweet frozen treats on a hot day like today. This morning I needed to hear some of that symphony because I was here in the courtyard tackling my to-do list, doing some serious adulting with work that, yes, is important, but if I'm honest, some of that work isn't always as important as I make it out to be. And I found myself struggling with a to-do list that was so long and trying to be about the race of keeping up with it. And then I realized, why don't I, in my own way, listen to the symphony of these kids and even dare to let some rest and renewal into my life? I was so caught up in adulting, and I took some time to just listen to that symphony and slow down a bit. Yeah, it put me behind on my to-do list, but it was a gift I needed this morning. It's a gift we all need because we get caught up in so many different races, at least us adults, because adulting is serious and difficult at times. In chapter 19 of Matthew's Gospel, Jesus gives us an invitation for some renewal in the face of adulting. Perhaps you could see it that way, as he's talking about an adult tendency to get caught up in a race for wealth and possessions. And he speaks in chapter 19 about how dangerous and difficult that is for us for growth if we're going to get caught up in that very adult race for more things, more stuff, more money, more whatever. And after talking about that, Jesus then goes on to celebrate God's work of renewal, or at least offering us renewal in the midst of all of that. Renewal in the form of maybe a different path, one that isn't caught up in possessions and wealth, but maybe in things like love and relationships and service and self-giving and vulnerability. A different path that he offered and was on, a path of renewal and in marvelously eternal ways. And then that is a holy invitation for us all, at least us grown-ups who can get caught up in the seriousness of life, to pause and pray today and reflect on where we hear that invitation to do a little resting and renewing in our lives. And maybe that comes thanks to the symphonies of kiddos on summer break that cause us to pause and not just listen to their symphony, but maybe in our own ways to take that symphony to heart and practice some rest and renewal in our lives. Maybe it's giving ourselves permission to take that nap in an afternoon, or to just slow down, because there will always be things on our to-do list. That list will be there tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. And celebrate that in the midst of adulting, when work always is there to be done, there's also always an invitation of God offered to do some holy resting and to practice some holy renewal, all so that we can return to that work with rested and renewed hearts. God's peace and blessings to you all.